Hey, how's it going, you guys? Welcome back to some more ChronoClock. We are continuing in Michiru's route. Last episode, we were able to have a actually kind of chill conversation with Michiru. It was nice being able to talk to her and not having her like all over us all the time. I've noticed that like since we got past the first part of the first episode, hasn't been as much of that, which I've actually enjoyed. Like I said, I wanted to get to know Michiru more, and I thought her route would be the best place to do so, and I feel like I've already gotten to know her a bit more. I've gotten to see different sides of her, just like I got to see of Misaki. So I'm enjoying that. We had more of a serious conversation, and I think that was going well. So we are going to continue on here and see where the day takes us. One early morning weekend day, I realized once again that I developed quite the persistent habit of waking up early. I wish I had done that. I don't have that same drive to wake up early, even though I love mornings. I always had Dee Dee coming to wake me up, Michiru barging into my room, or little Michiru pouncing on me before my alarm could go off. Putting aside the first two, I know very well why little Michiru did that. Since the weekdays are school days, that means little Michiru has to be alone for a longer time. She wants to increase the time she can spend with me, though she may not realize that herself. That was partly why I wanted to spend as much time with little Michiru as I could on the weekends. Though I couldn't leave Michiru out of it, not like I had any intention of doing so. Hence why I needed to make time for all three of us to hang out together. I don't know, I feel like we've had a good amount of time to spend with both of them. I wouldn't say that we've not spent enough time with little Michiru. I know, like, with school going on and stuff, we are gone most of the day, but I feel like we make up for it in the evening. As a result of all that thinking, I had ended up coming up with the idea that all three of us going on a picnic today. Oh, okay, picnic would be cool. Hey, you two, aren't you forgetting anything, right? Also, I do apologize. It has a little bookmark, and that means that I've already read this. I was going through like I do for a thumbnail, and I hold down a certain key that just kind of like speeds through everything. And it just kept going. I didn't realize it would keep going through stuff I hadn't even read yet. So, little Michiru answered cheerfully while wearing the hat I bought for her the previous day, while Michiru gave a gentle smile in response. So I promise I haven't read any of this yet. They had different ways of showing their excitement, but I could tell they were both looking forward to this excursion. I have no idea. I don't plan a fun outing. I don't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come home at this time. Who does that? Just be spontaneous. Let the day take you where it takes you. We'll be back by dinner time. You can start preparing things at the usual time. I do feel kind of bad that we just make Dee Dee do all this stuff. Like, we make her, like, apparently cook dinner. Instead of coming with us. Alright. Gosh, what is up with me today? Why am I feeling bad for Dee Dee of all people? What's going on with me? Daijoubu desu ka? Man, you guys really are alike. Your thoughts match up perfectly, though I do understand your concern. I mean, they quite literally are the same person, just at different time periods, so wouldn't it be unimaginable that they would think similarly? Dee Dee wasn't participating this time. She told us she was just doing her job as a maid, but I knew the real reason. She was being considerate by allowing the three of us to spend time together. Okay. Thanks, Dee Dee. Felt bad about leaving her out of it, but I decided it was just better to appreciate the thought this time. Anyways, let's get going. You can call us if you need anything. I like that she's very considerate of Dee Dee. Such a good little kid. Hope my daughter turns out like her. Little Michiru energetically waved goodbye and then held her hand out for me to take. I took her own small hand in one of my hands while adjusting the heavy bag of packed lunches I carried on my shoulder with the other. Oh, go ahead. I held out my arm to Michiru and she latched onto it tight, pressing it to her chest. Why do you have to mention that game? Why does it always have to be into her chest? You know why they're mentioning the chest, because there are certain things on her chest, okay? We know why you're mentioning them, but why do you have to mention it each time? Why can't you just say, oh, she held my arm? Like, let's just leave it at that. Why do you have to mention the chest part? Sorry, rant over. felt a bit cramped, but this was necessary to keep them both safe. This little outing we're going on today began when Michiru said she wanted to spend the day with me. Little Michiru wanted to go play somewhere, and Didi offered to cook, so I asked Michiru what we could all do together. As a result, we decided to show little Michiru around town, then go on a picnic. I wonder if the monorail is like way better now than it is back then. She is. Why don't we start by taking a little ride around town on it? But she isn't raising a fuss. She's being perfectly nice. Okay, she was just telling her to like be on good behavior and stuff. Okay. I mean, little Michiru is like an angel, so what do you mean? When did Michiru first ride the monorail anyways? I certainly remember the most important events in her life, but I couldn't really remember something so relatively trivial as that. So I was thinking, are they gonna pull a plot twist where regular Michiru doesn't realize, but like everything that's happening to this little Michiru has actually happened to her before? Are they gonna pull something like that, where they're gonna like they're kind of making it seem like these are two completely separate Michirus in a way? Like, yes, it is a younger version of her, but I wonder if they're gonna pull like a once this little Michiru disappears, like bigger Michiru will remember having done all these things, maybe something like that. I'm curious if they're gonna pull a plot twist, because I feel like that's something I could see happening. But we'll see. I certainly remember the most important events in her life, but I couldn't really remember something so relatively trivial as that. Good job. Like, what do you want me to say? You're seriously going to compete with that kid over that? Yeah, that's what I should be saying to you, boo. Stop trying to compete with your younger self. Quit pouting. Did your mental age suddenly plummet once she showed up or something? You don't even have to try to give people that impression. At least you do when you're not crawling all over me. I'm glad you can do something that like a 4-year-old can. Good job. Well, she certainly was making an effort and all. You're a good girl, Michiru. Even with all that you have on your plate, you still make an effort to look after little Michiru. Okay, don't make those sounds. I don't want to hear that. Good girl, good girl. You're such a good little sister. I'm trying to think of what they say. Do they like yosh yosh when they're like rubbing their head? Something like that. There, you're adorable, Michiru. Alright, I'm glad. Perhaps because I praised her in a different way than she expected, she looked quite dumbfounded at first before breaking into a smile. That's the best thing to do. Always keep people on their toes. Never do what they expect. That expression didn't belong to the graceful, mature girl whom Michiru tried to be in public, and it didn't belong to the Michiru who's madly loved me either. Her innermost self shone through for just a moment, and in that moment, her natural loveliness seemed to sweep me off my feet. Oh no, little Michiru is now jealous. Can we just go? Can we just go on the monorail, guys? Like, let's just go. What is it, little Michiru? Oh my, we're gonna be here all day! No, stop. Just stop while you're not ahead. Are they just going in circles now? Yes, they are. Thanks to all that, it took us 3 times longer for us than usual to get to the monorail station. I guess I really do have to show both of my sisters the exact same amount of love. Needy. Thank you, I did put on some cologne today. Oh, you mean the store. Something smells really sweet. I like how even Ray is disappointed. Like, dang, I want some dessert, man. Michiru laughing at me was embarrassingly enough. Was embarrassing enough, but having the same feelings on the matter as little Michiru was even more embarrassing. Fine by me, we promised to get a present for DD too, so we'll get something on the way home. Presents! Little Michiru, who was still holding my hand, waved her other arm in the air happily. I thought Michiru would tell her to quiet down, but she seemed to be having fun too. That's good. I mean, this is an outing that each of them should be having fun. And even Ray should be having fun. I mean, I don't think a lot of people really like care about the protagonist as much in these games, because when you're talking, you know, you're just usually talking to somebody else, and maybe you have a little bit of dialogue to yourself. But I think the protagonist is important too. I think it's important that he cares for himself, you know? Or that we need to get on the monorail, okay? Gosh, which park are we going to that we have to go on a monorail to get to it? I mean, if I want to go to the park around here, I feel like there's a few I could go to. Like, if I wanted to drive within like 15 minutes, I could go to a lot of different parks. But you know, this is Japan. We don't have cars here. She pulled on my hand, but she definitely couldn't pull me along or anything. Hey, little Michiru, cut that out. Yeah, what are we, at the pool or something? Can't run around here. Held onto her hand so that she couldn't run off as Michiru gently chastised her. Yep, that is a possibility. Sorry, I was getting a call there. Oh wow, Michiru's acting like her guardian. She must look like a responsible big sister to other people. I know, they look like twins, but they're like completely different ages. Mature young woman taking care of her little sister. She might even look like a motherly figure to some. I did say that was gonna happen. I did call that. Michiru stepped in right when I was about to say something to little Michiru, so I instead just watched how they interacted. I was just thinking, you're acting like a good big sister or something to her. No. I'll settle for being the elder brother, thanks. I wouldn't want you to spoil me or anything. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for it to turn into something else. I was like, is she gonna do it? Or is she gonna be mature and not go there? Nope. I had too much faith, guys. Too much faith. I want to be your big brother so I can protect you. You're my precious little sister after all. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're just skipping that. We're just skipping it, guys. Alright, let's keep going on. Anyways, Michiru seductively moved her body closer to me, which she showed a little bit more strength than usual. Maybe she was doing that because little Michiru was around. As that thought crossed my mind, I gently embraced her. I won't do that. When I said you're my precious little sister, I meant it. Can we not do this in front of little Michiru? Can we just not? Even if little Michiru wasn't here, actually, can we not do this? Not that confident. You just really make my heart race when you're trying to get me flustered. He's flirting back. What? Hey, Michiru, stop tickling me. Michiru teased me with the tips of her slender fingers. She must have been writing letters with her fingers, but nothing good would come out of paying attention to what she was writing. Oh, that's right, sure. As little Michiru tried to push her way in my other side, I wrapped my arm around her as well. I brushed little Michiru's hair as she nuzzled her face into my shirt. You know, I could say the same thing about you. Except for this moment right here. This was slacking a little bit, okay? Really, I don't think I'm acting any differently. In fact, I think haven't you been acting more mature lately? I think you've been acting much cuter since little Michiru arrived. In some ways, Michiru was also acting more childish, but that was part of her charm. Oh yeah, sure, totally. Come on, aren't you both my little sisters? You don't need to view each other as rivals. Little Michiru treated Michiru like a rival too, but they were both misunderstanding my feelings for them. I was completely serious when I told Michiru she was cute, but she was really acting more mature as well. People say that a woman becomes even more beautiful when she falls in love, but perhaps a woman's maternal instincts can have a similar effect. I mean, to go along with what he's saying, I mean, I'm married and I have a kid now. I will say my wife is more beautiful when she's like interacting with our daughter and things like that. I'll say there's some truth to that for sure. And then yeah, when she falls in love, at first I think women are pretty beautiful in that sense, right? I feel like when I was dating my wife, like yeah, I did think she was beautiful, but I have a hard time with that because I feel like when you're first dating and stuff, or you're first falling in love, a lot of that is infatuation, and you really have to see, do I love this person past that? Do I love them past this initial like rush of excitement, and we don't know that much about each other, so we're learning on these new things, and it's, you know, you're just really trying to spend as much time with each other as possible. When you get past that phase though, where you're like, okay, I still love you, but like I don't want to have every single moment of my life with you. Because, you know, it'd be nice to go to the bathroom and do my own hobbies. That's when I feel like you have to see, do you really love this person? Because if you love them after that point, if you still, after that initial rush of excitement, want to be with them, you still enjoy spending time with them, I feel like that's when it's really true love to me. So that's why I don't really believe in love at first sight or anything like that. I feel like that's very much leaning into infatuation. It's the newness of it and everything. I feel like you really... to find if you love somebody, you need to get past that initial point of like just everything is exciting about them and I love everything about them, because ultimately you're not going to love everything about a person. It's just the reality. There's going to be things that are hard to deal with, maybe annoying, or that you just didn't expect, or that you kind of glossed over, you know, because you have that initial infatuation. And if you still love the person even after that, you still love them with their flaws, then I think that's true love. That's just my opinion. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but anyways. Do you mean to say there's no need for me to compete with any other girls in your life? I don't know. There's some other cute girls in this game. So, as for your route, yes. And any of the other routes, then yes, you're competing and you will not win. Sorry, Michiru. At the very least, I don't have any other girls in my life that I want to start dating. I mean... Have you seen Misaki? Have you seen Makoto? Have you seen Crow? My guy. Okay, I like it. Michiru's mouth curled up into a bashful smile, and then she pressed her body into my arm again. I think this smile, it's kind of like a very subtle, like, smirk. I think this is the I want you look from her. I could feel her. Ugh, why do we have to keep talking about this, guys? I just mentioned this earlier, where they mention chest, because they know what's on a woman's chest. That's why they say that. They always have to mention this. Her smile was what I found most attractive. Good job. I'm just gonna disregard these constant comments about pressing into her breast, because they keep doing it over and over. I'm like, I don't need to know, Ray. You don't need to mention it every time it happens. After Michiru chastised her running around too much, little Michiru calmed down quite a bit. Though perhaps the reason she wasn't running around was simply because the weather outside was so beautiful. No, that's someone else's house. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm also wondering, so I kind of talked about this, I think, in a little bit last episode. So we were talking about the whole argument whether they should tell her or not that Michiru is blind. I wonder if little Michiru is going to end up figuring it out, because she keeps deferring to Rei to look at things. I wonder if little Michiru is going to figure it out, or if it's going to be one of those cases that, like, she just loves Rei so much that she's happy to, like, go and ask him a question instead of Michiru. Even though I do think she likes Michiru too, little Michiru that is. I do think she looks up to Michiru. I mean, quite literally, because she's shorter and Michiru's taller. But beside the point, I do think she looks up to her as kind of like maybe like a sisterly figure, you know? And so that's why I'm wondering, is she gonna figure it out? Is she gonna pay enough attention? Is she observant enough to notice that she keeps deferring whenever, like, she's asked to look at something? Because it keeps happening. She keeps asking Michiru to look at something, and then Michiru tells her to look at Rei and ask him instead. So I'm getting the feeling that she's gonna figure it out, and especially because we had that conversation already about telling her, and she decided not to tell her. I feel like little Michiru is just smart enough that she's gonna put 2 and 2 together.
Michiru, 屋外でそういったことを口にしてはいけませんよ。はしたないですから。
You could have done that without tacking on the last part, you know. I mean, not bad advice, but this is coming from the person that, like, throws themselves at their brother in public, so debatable whether you can trust this source. I'd appreciate if you paid heed not just to your voice, but what you say it with it as well. Michiru would say naughty things like that every now and then, but thankfully they always soared right over little Michiru's head, preventing the conversation from getting derailed. My little sister, in times gone by, was a pure and innocent little angel, after all. I still think she's cute, I really do, but sometimes she can say rather improper things. That's the park, though it's not really a building, that's the monument. It's like a main landmark of this city. Thanks to the lovely weather, I could make out all the fine details of the scenery in the distance. Had it been raining today, little Michiru would have been disappointed that we couldn't go and see what she was pointing at. I guess we're going to that main park that our family, like, helped develop, I guess. It seems like we have to ride the monorail there. It's very interesting that things are so spaced out that they're not in walking distance here. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily America's like that either. I mean, you definitely have to drive a lot of places, but we have just such a heavy driving culture here that I feel like most places are a short drive away, whereas Japan is probably more of like a public transportation type of place. So I mean, I don't know, it's just weird culturally to me to have to take a monorail or like a train somewhere when you could just drive there. But you know, Japan doesn't really, I don't feel like most people probably have a car. We're gonna have lunch in the park and all. Oh, did I now? Okay. Michiru had acted childish before, but this was the first. This time she was exuding the proper confidence of an elder sister. That confidence was very different from the calm, collected images she put on at school. And she wasn't just acting like that owing to the age difference either. Her attitude also stemmed from the fact that these two girls knew each other so well. I felt the warmth of the sunlight streaming in through the windows while listening to Michiru's cheerful voice. It was a heartwarming, pleasant combination of sights and sounds. No, I'm not making fun of you, right? I'm just happy to see my little sisters getting along. Normally, Michiru was on the receiving end of being spoiled, and now it seemed like she was dishing out quite well to little Michiru. I know what she means by that comment. She thinks she's sly. I know exactly what you mean by that. No matter what happens, you'll always be my little sister. Though that didn't mean she couldn't become something on top of that as well. Whoa! Speaking of on top, I wonder what Rei is thinking about. Anyways, let's go to the park, guys. You know, it's a great day. Look at this. It's nice and bright out. I think it's actually a nice sunny day outside today as well. I should know. I literally was outside, but I think it still is. Conversation went on for the next hour. We sat on the monorail watching the scenery go by and made plans for the rest of the day. Little Michiru seemed interested when we mentioned the shopping district, so we promised to go there the following day. After that, the three of us held hands and walked in the direction of the park, though little Michiru kept dragging us off to look at everything that caught her interest. Well, I mean, it's probably somewhat familiar to her, because I mean, she probably lived in the same area, right? But this is probably way more expansive. Way more developed than she's used to. It sounds like this was a pretty recent development here. And it's absolutely insane, the structure back here. It's so big. I will say, one nice thing I like about Japan is, like, can we look at these benches right here? Look how much seating there is. Here in America, I mean, we have, like, seating at parks and stuff, right? But I feel like it's not enough. At least, there's usually, like, seating. If you walk around, you'll find more seating. But as far as in, like, a central area that you'd actually want to hang out in, there's not much, like, seating like this. So I really appreciate that. You could tell they were both every bit as happy as I was. It was fun looking at the scenery from the monorail, but riding it for the entire hour we naturally started to get a little tired of it. The healing sunlight washed over me, seemingly revitalizing my body, and the fresh wind blowing on my skin felt positively wonderful. Well, the time seems perfect, so why don't we have lunch now? Ooh, we got bento boxes. Let's go. The moment I suggested the idea, little Michiru started gleefully running around with excitement. Although it wasn't much, the act of eating lunch itself had her so excited, so much as being able to eat a proper homemade lunch like this. I used to be like that too back when I was her age. A meal seemed more special when it was all packed up in a lunch like that. Weren't you eager to have lunch too, Michiru? I don't know, I'm not treating you... What's wrong with wanting to have lunch? Not that, you don't usually walk such long distances. You must be tired, right? Michiru seemed a little bit surprised to hear me say that. I wonder why. Cocked my head to the side of confusion, but Michiru's response seemed to be a veiled thank you of sorts. I've literally been complimenting you and telling you how cute you are and many other things today. What do you mean? Of course I care about you. And we've been literally, like, subtly flirting with each other all day. Wasn't intending to give you that impression. Thinking back with the last few days, I really did spend more time with little Michiru than Michiru. I mean, to be fair, little Michiru wasn't around all the time, and she's not going to be here for a while, so it makes sense that I would be giving her more attention than usual, because she's usually not here. To be brutally honest, that was inevitable. I didn't want to say that to Michiru, though. Yeah, I just think it's a matter of little children need more attention. The younger siblings, right? They're younger, they're still developing, they need that sense of security and assurance more. I feel like the older siblings probably have already gotten some of that, right? She made a show of turning her face away from me, but I actually agreed with her. After all, I wonder what I myself would do if a past version of me suddenly sprang up before my eyes. Oh no, they're not gonna do that, are they? Can you imagine if there's a little Ray and a little Michiru and we have to, like, watch both? Oh gosh. Michiru only paid attention to the little Ray. I'd start to feel lonely too. I mean, I do agree. I mean, it's nice to give attention to everyone in the group. I'll be more careful, but just try to remember I've never intended to ignore you. You and little Michiru are both precious members of my family. Yeah, because you guys are literally all in the same. You're both my sister. I conveyed all my feelings to Michiru by combing my fingers through her hair. Terrible trait to have. Of course I knew that too. Even if I knew, I couldn't help but want to spoil her a bit. Oh, she's calling for us. Yeah, wouldn't be a good idea. She seems a little young. But I don't know. I remember in Cafe Stella, there was that little girl that would always come into our cafe, and she seemed like she's like 4 or 5, and she just went and walked through the neighborhood, bought a cake from us or whatever, and did all that by herself without her parents. I'm like, what the heck? I would never, ever here in America let my child at 4 or 5 walk around like that. Never, ever, ever. That'd be so unsafe. I don't know. Japan's a different place, I guess. I accompanied Michiru, who didn't seem all that disappointed as we went to join little Michiru, waving at us. Hey, sorry. Gosh, I used to say that about my mom. So, my mom actually would walk slower than my grandma, who had to use like a walker to walk. I'm like, dang, Mom, what are you doing out here? You know, Grandma's beating you. Crazy. Sorry. Alright, then, let's start setting things up. Little Michiru, could you help me lay down the sheet? I took a vinyl sheet out of our bag and had little Michiru help me spread it out on the ground. We used our shoes and bags to hold down the edges of the sheet, then little Michiru helped her big sister, and Michiru carefully sat down while feeling ahead of her with her hands. I looked away from the 2 girls that were getting along well, and instead observed our surroundings. There were a few other families in the park going on picnics. How did the 3 of us look as we sat down to start our picnic? I opened up the lunchbox and she passed side dishes to Michiru and little Michiru. Okay. They were rice balls, fried chicken, salad, and tamagoyaki. Tamagoyaki. So, tamago, that's egg, right? I believe so. Everything packed in our lunchbox was standard picnic food that could easily be eaten outside. The girls clearly approved of the menu since they both started eating right away. It made me happy to hear them say that the food was delicious even though I hadn't been the one to prepare it. However, after eating everything on her plate except the chicken and vegetable soup, little Michiru stopped. I wondered if the juices from the other food affected the flavor of her soup, but that didn't seem likely since her plate was divided into portions. And evidently, that wasn't what was bothering her. Michiru, you don't like the lotus root? Noticing she wasn't eating that, I asked her about it. She hesitated for a moment before giving a slight nod. I have no idea what a lotus root is, and I probably wouldn't like it either, Michiru, so don't feel bad about it. Children can't help but appreciate subtle flavors like that. I guess there's some things they just don't like. That being said, the way that she suddenly became a fussy eater was a problem. I don't know. So I've had to learn a lot about this as a parent, right? And I understand that these 2 are clearly not parents and should not be parents for a good ever because of reasons. But yeah, I'm not really about forcing a kid to eat something they don't like. I don't feel like that's the right approach, and I've read some studies that say that you shouldn't do that either. I definitely will ask my daughter to. I mean, she doesn't really talk too much yet. She's just starting a few words, and we're trying to convey things to her. But I will try to make sure that she eats enough. I think eating enough is important, but I'm not trying to make sure they eat things they don't like, because it's like they're not going to eat them, and it's not going to really help you to force them to eat them. Just find things that are healthy enough that they do like, I think, is a better approach. And then just feeding them a variety of foods so that you make sure they're getting enough nutrition and things like that. I feel like that's more important than making sure they eat every single thing out there. You know, some kids are just not going to like certain things, and that's okay. I think by forcing a kid to eat something they don't like, you're going to cause them to not like that food ever. My mom is kind of that way. She told me as a kid she was forced to eat grapefruit, and now she will never touch grapefruit. So just an example there. I don't think forcing kids to eat foods they don't like is the way to go. But yes, I do agree. You should at least try it. You should make sure your kids at least try the food. You can't say you don't like something if you never tried it. Unless it's very similar. There are some foods that are just very similar. So I'm like, okay, I guess in that case you could know, because it's pretty much the same thing. But generally, have your kid try it. Don't force them to eat it. I don't know why. Why am I being such a parent right now? I need to stop. I'm going on these long parental tangents, Anyways, if you're too picky, you'll never grow up to be beautiful like your big sister Michiru. Though of course Michiru was still quite keen on junk food.
もう兄様ったら褒めるのでしたら直接言ってくださいませんと。
I always thought you were beautiful. Don't you think it's a little weird to say it out loud every time I think it?
兄様からの褒め言葉でしたらいかなる産地であっても嬉しく思いますよ。
I don't know. I'm with Ray on this one. I think it's fine to think that, but like saying it out loud all the time kind of diminishes its value. So I generally like don't tell my wife like certain things all the time, but I do think them. I like to tell her in certain moments because I feel like it matters more rather than just like saying it all the time because then it loses value. I understand, but I really do think you're beautiful, and that's why it's embarrassing for me to say it. It's easy to compliment her as my little sister, but it's also easy to compliment her as an attractive member of the opposite sex. Let me put it this way. I don't say it too often because then it wouldn't be as special.
わかりました。
See, I agree with Ray. I
兄
do.
様が挨拶のように言ってくださるまで我慢しておきますね。ですが言葉ではなく態度で示してくださっても構いませんよ。
Okay, and I'll actually agree with her here. I'm more of the type of person to show my affection rather than say it, because I think actions speak louder than words, right? So I think, I mean, besides the clear things you guys can think of, I think like hugs, I think you know, just light kisses and just like holding hands, just signs of physical affection, I think say a lot more than constantly telling someone you love them, because it's like everyone can say I love you, but not everyone can show it. So I think it's more important to show it than saying it all the time. Michiru had a mischievous smile on her face, which made her seem really lovable. I had to look away from Michiru's face to deal with the rising embarrassment that I was feeling. As I did, my eyes met little Michiru's, who was looking for someone to save her. Well, it was only natural she'd show some resistance when we suddenly told her to eat our vegetables like that. Go on, Michiru, I'll hold the spoon and feed it to you. Just one little bite, okay? Good girl. Here, say ah. I see. You still managed to eat it, though. Good girl. Okay. I'm gonna stop her right here, guys. Children are not like this. Kids will not do this for you. Unless you have some kind of really special relationship with them. It doesn't matter if they're the person you love most in the world. If they don't like a food, they're not gonna eat it. At least that's been my experience. Hey, I wasn't talking to you, okay? I'm not feeding you, too. Feed yourself. Oh my gosh. Here, little Michiru, let's try one more bite. Alright, I'll show you guys the CG real quick. Let's try one more bite. Okay. There you go, you're a good girl. Someone bashfully tugged at my sleeve. Why does every time she makes a sound like this, it sounds like overtly sexual? Am I the only one that gets that vibe? Can't you eat on your own? Yeah, I think everyone knows you really want him to feed you. Just thought I'd ask. I understand, Ray. I feel like I really do. Michiru was asking me to spoil her as a girl, just not just as my little sister. Though, of course, to make any girl jealous if she saw her father was giving her all the attention to her little sister, not her. I wish there was an option just to say no. But there's not, so. Well, your wording is only making this harder on me. Gosh dang, I can't feed two people at once. This is hard. Gosh, she's getting so sad. Crap, I fed her another spoonful without thinking. I guess Michiru's gonna start pounding at me again, or so I thought. Damn it. Looking at me the way looking at me that way is illegal. Do I want to spoil Michiru too much, so I opted to pretend I was reluctant to do it. If you insist. Once I agreed, she immediately opened her mouth. Well, I did say I would. It's not like I can go back on my word. Here, say ah.
節キス
You guys know how I feel about indirect kisses. You do. I've mentioned this enough. I hopefully by now everybody knows what my opinion of this is. At least say something about the food, will ya? Besides that, if she indirectly kissed anyone, it was little Michiru.
次は私ね
That's actually true. She indirectly kissed herself. That's a good point.
その次は私ですよ
Oh my gosh, they're gonna compete. So much alike. It was good to see little Michiru eating our vegetables, so now I had two girls begging me to feed them. Even if it was embarrassing, I enjoyed spoiling them every once in a while. In fact, I felt so happy I wanted to keep feeding them forever. That was a scary thought. That's a really bad thought. Get that out of your head. Let's never have that thought again.
そうだ
Soda? When almost everything in the lunchbox was eaten, little Michiru raised her voice as if she just remembered something. She's like, I want a soda.
ねえねえ黒って近くにいるの
Crow, that's right. I wonder if she is.
何用だ
I love that this game does that. I love that they just pop out of nowhere. It's like, what? Whoa, where'd you come from anyways?
呼んだお主がなぜ驚いておる
Because nobody usually just, like, plops right in front of me like that. Only freaking in this game. Of course, you're gonna surprise me if you just jump up and appear out of thin air like that.
黒さんは空中遊泳をしていたのですか空からくるくるって落ちたのではない降りてきたのだ
She's like, wait, guys. First of all, it's Crow-sama, okay? Second of all, you need to treat me with some respect, because I did not fall. I'm not falling down to hell. I'm descending from heaven, okay? So let's make this distinction clear.
空から黒が我が輩は飛行するために石など使わぬ
I see you're well read on pop culture too, Crow.
DVD がありますし留守番中に一緒に見ていたのでしょうね
Oh wow, so she's been hanging out with Crow while we've been gone. Interesting, I didn't know that. But, you know, that makes sense. She certainly lives in luxury, doesn't she? Though, if she was looking out for little Mitra, I suppose that was reassuring to know. I'd probably explain why I never saw Crow at school
それ
nowadays.
でみつる黒さんにどういった要件だったのですかああそうだった
Little Michiru nodded as if she just remembered, then put some food on a plate and held it out to Crow.
黒も一緒にご飯食べよ
Crow's just like, yeah, I don't need to eat actually.
我が輩にか
I don't know, can Crow eat? I don't know, I hear a lot of people when they talk about like the concept of heaven, they said it wouldn't be heaven unless they could eat food. And I agree with that. I mean, there would be no happy place without being able to gorge myself and eat something. What an unbelievably sweet little sister. Surely that was an offer no one could refuse. Dimitri, don't you know that Crow can't eat?
お供えすれば食べられる
What?
いや我が輩は精霊的な存在であって幽霊ではないぞお供えでなくて奉納ならどうなのでしょうかそれも気持ちに過ぎぬ食べられぬものを差し出されても困るだろ
I don't know. Like, why can she not eat? Is it because it would go right through her, or like, I'm trying to understand. Does she not have like a stomach to digest it because she doesn't need to eat? I don't know. Crow, just eat it for little Michiru, okay? Why are you being so hesitant and stubborn about this? Just eat it to make her happy. She's trying to offer you food. She's trying to be nice, and you're not letting her be nice. Shame on you, Crow. Conversation was getting too complex for little Michiru, still holding the dish while her head tilted to the side. She looked so cute that I wanted to take a picture, but at the same time, since she was so confused, I felt bad about it. Don't worry, it's just that Crow doesn't need to eat.
そうなんだ美味しいのに残念だね気にするでない我が輩が食べられずともお主らの雰囲気だけで伝わってくるものがあるからなしかしその気遣いには感謝するぞみちるどういたしまして
Okay, that was better, Crow. Okay, that was nice. I'm not saying Crow's not nice to her, but But it's like, just take it. What is it gonna hurt you? You can't hold it or something? Did you just pass through everything you try to touch? I don't know if I believe that's true, because how is she gonna have her own route? How are we gonna, you know, have a relationship with someone who we can't touch? I mean, stranger things have happened. My wife likes this anime movie. I think it's like 45 minutes long, and it's like, Harubi, I don't know, something like that. It's about this guy that has this fox mask, and she can't like touch him or anything, or he'll disappear. I've heard it is a good movie. I've watched part of it, so my wife would recommend it. I can hardly bear the thought of how precious she was. Ah, such lazy calm. This is the ideal picnic.
Oh, go home. Kuro-san, watashi no gohan mo douzo.
I thought I told you not to make things like this into a competition. I already knew full well how kind Michiru was. Michiru Sawatari, was currently in a state of relaxation following a large and satisfying meal. My dear brother and little Michiru were playing tag. I could hear them running along and sense how much they were enjoying themselves and their shouting. They were running around, so right after eating even, I do hope it will not cause their stomach aches later on. I don't know, I always found I could run around and do things after I ate. I actually feel like it's better for your digestion to do so. I just wouldn't recommend swimming. I feel like swimming is not something you want to go do right after eating. Were that to happen, I would be happy to offer them gentle rubs of the stomach, but the slightest thought of my dear brother in pain troubles me so greatly.
ミチルも転んで怪我をしなければいいのですが。お主も意外と心配性だな。
Though I had no idea how long she had been present, I heard a voice calling to me from the sky above.
いらっしゃったのですか？うん。ずっとここにいたぞ。
This person does not have a very discernible presence, so I am unsure if person is the correct word to describe her. She seems to appear out of thin air, and I can only wonder how on earth she can accomplish such a feat. Though if she has made her presence known, I ought to greet her.
クロさん、女性同士、少しお話をしませんか？
I'm interested in this discussion. What do you guys have to say?
話か？まあ、構わぬぞ。これまでご主人以外とは話せなかった。どうした？ご主人様？そんな迫り方をしていたのですか？アホ、様は余計だ。
Michiru, I still have to do Didi's route. I still have to do Makoto's route. And then I will be on Crow's route. Okay, so don't worry about that.
クロさんは兄様とずっと一緒にいらっしゃったのですか？唐突に話を戻すな。あ、いや、ずっとというほどでもないぞ。その間にしても久方ぶりの外界を散策しておったからな。一緒ではない。そうですか。ずっと一緒にいたわけではないのですね。
I am looking forward to learning more about that. Learning more about our grandfather and how maybe Crow maybe knew him, or just how she came to be here.
不満なのか？ええ、少しばかり。意外だな。お主はむしろ四六時中ひっついていることに不満を覚えるたちであろう。確かにそれはありますが、クロさんは兄様に触れられませんから、むしろ私といない時の兄様に関して情報を提供してくださる利点の方が大きいですね。お主も大概だな。というわけで、兄様との出会いから教えていただけますか？出会いなぁ。童貞を捨てたいと叫んだり、細かいことで悩む俗物だったというくらいか。
Oh no. Oh no. Don't say that.
あらあら、兄様ったら。その後は、そうだな。ミウという少女の問題に首を突っ込んでおった。まあ、そこであれこれと、情けないご主人なりに奔走し、少しはマシになったというところだ。その一部始終を、クロさんは見ていたのですね。すべてではないがな。ご主人が何を考えていたかも 詳しくは知らぬ。わかるのはせいぜいミチルがいなければ今のご主人にはなれなかったというくらいか。
私が兄様のお役に立てたのなら幸いです。
お主はよく自身よりご主人の幸せを優先しているように見えるな。
I would say yes and no that she does that. I feel like she definitely prioritizes her own feelings for her brother sometimes.
そんなことはありませんよ。兄様の幸せが私の幸せでもあるのです。
ではミチル自身の幸せはないのか？
もちろんありますよ。兄様と結ばれ温かい家庭を築くことです。
であれば寝込みを襲えば済むのではないか。ご主人も嫌とは言うまい。
寝込みですか。
Last time I tried that, little Michiru appeared and ruined that plan. Perhaps if I were to try it again, my wish would be granted. It's a very tempting idea. No, don't. No.
やめておきます。それは兄様の望みではありませんから。
Oh, now you'll listen to that, huh?
いえ、
Because there were some consequences last
望
time
ん
you
で
did
いる
it.
かもしれませんが、本望ではないでしょうから。
Yeah, I think she's right, though. I think waiting for a more respectable time would be better. Last time I pushed him over because I was overcome by emotion, but now I can think
兄様
clearly.
が受け入れてくださるとしても、私は兄様から思いを告げられるまで、いざ告げられたのなら、私から押し倒してしまうかもしれませんが。
結果は同じだろう。
それでも家庭は違いますから。
Yeah, the order of events is different, and I think like the intention and stuff is different. I think if she waits for him to confess and it's both mutual at that point, like yeah, I think both of them have feelings for each other at this point, but he's not clearly ready to move forward with those. I mean, they have little Michiru to worry about and things going on. So I think if she waits for anything to happen till after they're ready, you know, things will be a lot better for them. I would not have been so calm and collected were it not for the affection my brother had already been showing me each day. Sometimes I find myself getting jealous of women with whom my brother gets along well, and being his little sister that had me in an impasse.
人間というのは面倒だな。
その面倒さえも愛おしく感じるものですよ。
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Some of the people that we hurt the most in our lives are the ones we're closest to. It just so happens to be that if you hurt someone that really looks up to you and finds comfort in you, that it'll hurt them more than somebody that they don't know and don't care about. If I did not care for my fellow humans, I truly would be nothing more than a troublesome woman. But you know, that's a good thing that we care about each other, right, guys? When I came back from playing in the park with little Michiru, I found Michiru and Crow sitting together and chatting it up, friendly as could be. You know, guys, I'm actually going to end it here. I think this is a good stopping point. It seems like we still have quite a bit more that's going to happen in this video, if I were to go on. So I think we'll stop it there. I think that was a nice conversation to end this on, and that way we can start the next episode, maybe discussing a little bit about what just happened there. So yeah, I'm going to end it maybe a little bit earlier than I usually do. But I think this is a good point to stop. I really like that conversation between them. It was nice to hear a little bit more about Michiru and even hear from Crow, which I don't feel like we get to hear from too much. So I like hearing her thoughts and just kind of asking the reasons why people do the things they do. Because obviously she's not really human, you know, so she has her own way of thinking, and maybe it won't line up with what normal humans would do. So we're gonna end it here. I think this has been a pretty good episode. I've liked the conversations, getting to spend time with little Michiru, and I hope you guys enjoyed some of my thoughts about parenting, because apparently I went on a long rant about love and parenting, and I guess I'm just passionate. I mean, I'm married and I have someone I love in my life, so it makes sense that I would care, you know? Anyways, guys, appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.